Good morning. Welcome to day 12 of our 14 days of prayer. We've been so encouraged by your responses and your engagement, and we want to continue providing these videos for you every morning. So please keep tuning in. Please keep commenting. It is good to be in this with you. If I had to title this devotion anything, I would title it Beholding and Becoming. One author I've read said that as followers of Jesus, we're not just meant to come to him, but we are meant to become like him. Romans 8 says, "For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers." Now, I don't know about you, but if you've read this at all, this Bible, that seems like a tall order. I look at Jesus' life and his character, the depths of his compassion, the extent of his power and spiritual authority, the degree of his self-sacrificial love, and then I look at my life and I see a serious discrepancy. I don't love people outside of my own circle, even a fraction to which this book calls me to. I don't wield a degree of the spiritual authority I see demonstrated in here, and sometimes I have a hard enough time letting the person with one jug of milk go ahead of me in the grocery line, let alone lay down my life with the kind of self-sacrificial love that Jesus demonstrated and calls me to. This is emphasized even more in these current circumstances. I look at my response to fear and I look at Jesus's, and there is a massive gap. In the face of fear, I lash out. I get angry and I retreat. In the face of fear, Jesus is steadfast. When Jesus is out on the boat with his disciples and a storm breaks out, he sleeps. On the night before his death, he prays. And I read the Bible and I want to be like Jesus now more than ever. I want to love deeper, more sincerely and consistently. I want joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I want to live out all the Bible has called me to because I believe it is life. It is life for me and it's life for those around me. But as we said, it's a tall order, and I can grit my teeth and do really well one day and then fall apart the next. Trying to achieve Christ-likeness in my own strength is exhausting, and I believe it is ultimately powerless. But Paul has good words for us this morning. In 2 Corinthians 3:18, it says this, "And we all who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." Dallas Willard says this, "What brings about our transformation into Christ-likeness is our direct personal interaction with Christ through the Spirit. The Spirit makes Christ present to us and draws us towards his likeness. It says it's as we thus behold the glory of the Lord that we are constantly transformed into the same image from glory to glory." So we can draw near to Jesus by his Spirit in so many spiritual practices. We learned about many of these in our sermon series, The Way of Jesus, but prayer is one very effective way that we can do so. Like we learned about last week, we come to, like Mary, we come to sit with Jesus, to read about who he is, to behold his goodness, to apprentice under him. And if we take Paul at his word, there is a spiritual reality taking place in this time. The Spirit making Jesus present to us, drawing us towards his likeness, transforming us into his image and producing his life in us. This is amazing grace, that Jesus wouldn't just come and go, leaving us to bide our time here till it's all done, that he would come and send his Spirit so day by day, moment after moment with him, you and I would be transformed into his image. The outcome in our lives being more love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The depths, growing in the depths of Jesus' compassion, the extent of his power and spiritual authority, and the degree of his self-sacrificial love. To finish his earlier thought, Dallas Willard says, as disciples of Jesus, our goal is to learn to be like him, and we begin by trusting him to receive us as we are. So let's begin this morning by trusting Jesus to receive us as we are, so that he can produce in us the character needed to live as he did. So I encourage you to work through the following prayer prompts. Tell Jesus you trust him to receive you as you are. If you sense shame that is keeping you from doing so, just express it to the Lord. Read 2 Corinthians 3:18. Ask the Holy Spirit to make Jesus present with you in this time. Spend a few minutes beholding the glory of Jesus by praising him for who he is. A good way to start is to pray a psalm to God. A good one I'd suggest is Psalm 19. Just pray it to him. And then just sit with Jesus in silence for a little while. Thank him for the gift of his Spirit. Thank him that as you behold him in this time, he is also transforming you. Thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.